Hey guys, welcome back to Laurence McKenna channel on LFC. It's good to have you. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Hope you enjoyed the win. It really was that good. Review was up, and there is a preview coming up of the Nottingham Forest game. But I think a lot of the subjects at the moment are about how Liverpool are evolving. I wanted to talk about a young striker who's been linked with Liverpool through a very good source of mine and someone who's broken the story exclusively, article down below, Sam Maguire. He's a great analyst. He's a really great writer, and he's got a Patreon. And he's also got a free article that's up for this particular story. Weirdly, it's kind of his exclusive. Not weirdly, obviously he's a good guy, but you normally hear a lot about people who want to go to Liverpool. And after Liverpool have missed out, I don't really think they have missed out on Omar Marmoush, it looks as if Liverpool are looking to retool in another way. Now, there is a lot of pace, should we say, gathering around the Nunez links to Al Hilal and also at one point to AC Milan, but the AC Milan one looks less likely now, obviously, because AC don't have the spaces they need and probably, frankly, don't have the money either, even though they've just offered Kyle Walker a 2.5-year contract, which I just find bizarre. But yeah, it doesn't look as if he's going to be moving someone like that in January. I think Al Hilal looks like the biggest option. It also looks like the player is also extremely interested to go that way as well. Probably just looking to get to a club that really want to play his style of football, a place where he can get his head right, a place where he can get his approach back to where it was and essentially get his career back on track. I think Darwin Nunez at one point was, the next big thing for Liverpool. But I think that was very contingent on Jurgen Klopp sticking around with Liverpool. And in the end, he didn't. The project, the development, all those other aspects didn't really go that way. And I don't even think that the coach we have now in Slot hates him all that much. I just think he doesn't really fit the profile that Slot wants his striker to play. And he wants someone much more like Jota. In steps Stefanos Tzimas. Stefan is a 19-year-old Greek striker who plays in Bundesliga 2 at the moment. This is all in Sam's article. And someone, himself, described Simas to me as a taller Jota. What are we talking about there then? We're talking about someone who's got great link-up play, someone who's really good at carrying the ball, someone who's really good at riding tackles, someone who's a really neat finisher, potentially can stay fit for a little longer than someone like Jota, but also is someone who is really good at just bringing Liverpool back into games, bringing his team into a space where they are competitive rather than a bit more passive. And that's what we're looking for in a striker right now. We're looking for strikers who are less passive. Obviously, that's where Nunez shines for Liverpool. He's a very direct, he's very front-footed, and that works really well for us. But I guess on the other side of that, he's not lethal enough right now. And this is kind of what I said to Sam when I was talking to him about it. It was like, well, would he be able to replace Darwin? And it was sort of like, well, what is it at the moment that Darwin particularly is doing for us? It's not that we're ungrateful for his build-up play. It's not that we don't appreciate what it is that he's done for the club. But why are we not scoring goals through our main striker, who, by the way, has or was sold on us as a great strength of scoring goals? It's frustrating. And I'd imagine it's also very frustrating for Darwin, right? Like, if you're a striker, you don't want to have to be scrambling around for goals. You don't have to be worrying about that kind of thing. You want to be on the front foot. This is where I want a young striker that we can craft into our own. There is a reason that he is in the Bundesliga 2, though. And, I can't exactly put my finger on it, so to speak. But what I would say is, if there is a Bundesliga 2 team willing to pay 18 million for him, then they definitely believe that there is a massive upside to signing someone like Simas. He's got I've been watching highlights of his. I've been watching compilations. Sam also sent me some footage that I was lucky enough to look through, which shows a little bit more of his build-up play. And I genuinely think that the profile of a taller Diogo Jota is actually really suited towards what Liverpool are looking to achieve right now. Jota is already kind of Liverpool's first choice, if that makes sense. I just think it's purely his injuries which are the problem. And I know that we're all very excited about an Omar Marmoush type character, someone who comes in as a superstar. But I also think that Liverpool do need a little bit more functionality in their side right now. We have quite a few superstars for us to play towards, and we probably need a young striker who's able to come in and essentially fit in with the team, go under someone like Salah's wing, play alongside Akpo, play alongside Diaz if indeed he does stay. I'll be interested to see if he actually stays. But what we need is to retool this front line not get rid of everyone, not just have a clear out. It's not that nature of transfer, but to actually put Liverpool in a position where we can play the style of football we want to play. Now, I understand the frustration comes when you keep signing young players, or you sign someone like Darwin, you sign someone like Harvey Elliott, you sign players who are always about potential. We've had plenty of players who have also hit their potential. At the moment, through sticking with Curtis Jones, through signing Dominic Szoboszlai, through taking Gravenberch from Bayern Munich and putting him into a strong position, we're thriving in the Premier League. And frankly, people can talk about a new manager month all they want. What it's shown is there is a great technical ability within the team. I'm not interested in the short term here. I'm not interested in a 2 or 3 game run where things go a little bit wrong or tactically it's not quite right. What I'm interested in is the long term and what we do over a whole season. There will be blips along the way. There will be bumps. Darwin hasn't shown that he's able to score goals for a sustained period now. And that's concerning to me because it means that the system isn't geared towards him. And it also means that I get it, like you can go through long crises of confidence, but at the very top level, we can't really have that. I know the concern goes the other way for you guys as well, that if we keep signing young people, if we keep going, oh, well, it'll be this guy, oh, well, wait 2 seasons and this guy will be the man, because allegedly the frustration with FSG is that we're always gearing towards the future, then what if this guy comes in and he doesn't have the wherewithal or the grit to get through the Premier League? He looks massive. He's a tall kid. His feet are really good. I've seen him ride a lot of challenges. I think that's the thing is, I listened to Ian Graham's book recently on, how to win the Premier League. And what I found fascinating about it was he was talking about translating stats between leagues. It sort of put me off actually looking at any stats, mainly because what I realized was Liverpool stats that they're looking at are much more complex than the stats that I even have on a surface level. So saying, oh, he scored this many goals this season, or he's had this many assists, that feels very surface. Don't get me wrong. I think Simas is a good player, and I think he's thriving in the second division in the Bundesliga. And I think there's a reason they've spent money on him. But what I'm really saying is, I believe in Liverpool's transfer policy because I believe that they unearth and see things in stats that other people haven't seen. Or now other people are beginning to see them because they're trying to employ the same techniques as Liverpool. That means that if we were to get rid of Darwin, if we were to get rid of or move on Diaz, someone like Barcelona, we would need to retool with, I think, 3 players next summer. I think Chiesa at the moment is probably showing us that he's a good stopgap. I think if you can sign a young striker, the problem is, Simas would cost us around 25 to 30 million euros. If they're paid 20, they're probably going to want an upgrade on him. They're going to want some money on the other side of that. And I think that's my only concern with him is we're going to be spending about 30. Would we be better to go out into the market and go, look, we've got 60 million, 70 million euros here? Or is that even our style anymore? Liverpool's transfer policy, and I believe it's still very much the same, is and has been, we will only buy in positions where we really feel that we need to. We will not just rotate players within the squad for the need of it. And sometimes, that suits certain managers. Certain managers love to just rotate their team because things get a little bit stale. Their techniques can wear fairly quickly on players. There are managers like Pep who need to rotate their team every couple of seasons. Allegedly, there were some players who were getting a little bit tired of what was going on with Jurgen Klopp. That's almost irrelevant here. Slot's not really been here that long. He's really having, a debut season where we're finding out a bit about him. We're finding out a bit about the personality and the style and how he reads other teams. We don't yet know what kind of player he wants, but did we really think that Brendan Rodgers wanted Christian Benteke? No, we never really thought he did. Did we really think that Jurgen Klopp would keep Bobby Firmino? Did we not think that he would bring in Robert Lewandowski? And I think that very quickly we found out the style of players that managers like to have. That's pretty fascinating to me because then you get into a stage where it's like, okay, well, he suits this profile. He fits into this manager's idea. But now not only the manager, because I think Klopp shaped this team in his own image in the end, it's now Richard Hughes. It's Michael Edwards' idea of what makes a good player. It's these guys' idea of squad rotation, selling, all these different ideas. As we enter more competitions, as the game grows in the next couple of years, we're going to need deeper squads. And I actually don't think that spending 20 to 30 million euros on a young player anymore counts as all that much. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that felt like a lot of money to spend on a young player. Now, especially considering training and development and physical development, that actually seems like a relatively reasonable amount of money to pay for a young striker, especially considering how much we spent on Darwin and what the return is on that. If anything, what you really want is, look at what happened on the weekend when the youth came on. They went out there almost fearless. I'm not saying that Liverpool are going to create a fearless team of young players, because I don't think that is necessarily in the mold of Slot. But I do think that when we're linked with young players like this, and Darwin or someone can leave, looking for a stopgap of a young striker like Simas is exciting to me. Of course, what does that mean for someone like Jayden Danns? Danns is an incredibly exciting young striker. Does he fit the style? I actually don't know. I think is maybe, he certainly has, like Slot said, in almost uncommitted fashion, a pretty promising career ahead of him. But that doesn't mean that he's saying that's going to be at Liverpool. And very often I worry that they fit the Harry Wilson type of position where it's like, well, you're good, you're a really good player, but you don't fit the style of player that we want right now. You're either too direct, or it's not even that you're too much of anything. It's just that you do not fit the style specifically that we need in this position. My only concern is, and I think at the moment, especially when we're looking for a new striker, the reason Marmoush got me excited was because he seemed like the finished product. He seemed like a superstar already. He would have slotted seamlessly into the team as far as we know. And, that connection with Salah, the idea of him connecting with Salah would have been great. I've loved what I've seen of him in Bundesliga. I've also loved what I've seen in terms of he got me excited. We're continually signing players at the moment, maybe because I don't watch enough European football in general. I watch, enough, but I don't watch enough of the deep leagues to be able to say, oh, well, I know what Bundesliga 2 looks like at the moment. That gets frustrating for some fans, but that's more narrative than it is statistical. So do you get what I mean by that? Like, we can't really base our own ideas of a player off what we've seen of them, because very rarely, especially with the markets that Liverpool shop in, will we have seen those players. I actually think a lot of this will draw some anger, because people are going, well, we're going to get rid of Darwin, someone we spent 60, 70 million on, by the way, probably overpaid for by quite a significant margin, in order to bring someone in who's younger. It'll be in the narrative of FSG are looking to save money, which I don't really believe in the first place anyway. So, hello, guys. Anyway, I'm going to chat to you guys later. Let me know what you think of Liverpool's transfer policy, where you think it's going, etc., etc. And I'll chat to you again in a little while. Much love. Bye.